All right, everybody. This is Mark with Cover Cats of Robertsdale, Alabama. We're doing a restore on a vintage sofa. I'm getting the camera set up now so we can see what's going on. Get a little pan action going on there. All right, this sofa belongs to Pam and Ralph Lee. It has been in our shop for quite some time, but it has also been in their family for quite some time as well. So today we are starting back on it. We had already started the process of knockdown and taking all the fabric off of it, and now we are back on it, getting everything stripped down and taken apart. Got some old nails and staples on this that are basically going to show you what we're dealing with here. It's not just the staples, it is a combination of nails and staples. So what we're going to do, all this right here is going to be replaced. All that right there is going to be replaced. We're going to keep the mohair in here. The reason being is because nothing makes a better padding than this right here. But we're going to put 1/2-inch sew foam on top of it, give it a really nice deck and finish. I've already pulled the old deck off of it, and this is what the old deck looks like. Of course, this is a Montgomery Ward sofa. Back so many years ago, it was covered and then recovered, and this red material is actually folded under, but it comes back over and then flips around the other side where I have already taken it apart. Now, normally I would not take this material off. This material right here, normally I would not, but it is so old that just a, well, I was going to say just a fingernail could cut it, but it's actually being a little resilient. I'm still going to take it off though, because I'm not real sure as to the integrity of it. So we are going to be taking that off. We're going to be taking all this off. All this old cotton's going, because all that stuff needs to be replaced when you're doing this kind of work. So let's get started. Now, please excuse the rain. We are getting a little bit of it right now, and I'm hoping I'm not going to have to remove the camera or anything like that, but if it starts to get too bad out here, I'll have to end the stream. Once you get it started, you just roll it right off. It is leaving an awful lot of staples behind, but that's what these blue handle pliers do. They actually remove the staples. We're just going to continue that on down and around. I had a fella who was helping me on this. Name was Adrian. Works at the Navy base. But he got deployed and he went somewhere else. He kept his phone, but I wasn't really able to get in touch with him. And I asked him when he's coming back, and he said he didn't know, it was indefinite. So he may not ever be back. But hopefully Pam and Ralph are watching right now. Pam and Ralph, if you guys are watching, don't feel inspired to call, because if you do call, you will interrupt the live stream. I usually wait until after I'm closed before I do a live stream, but I owe Mr. Pam and Mr. Ralph, or Mr. Ralph and Miss Pam, a debt of gratitude because they helped me out. So I wanted to show them that we are doing some work on their sofa and making some progress and getting her done. I guess one of the best things about live streaming, the customers can see the progress on their work, which is kind of cool. I don't know anybody else that offers that. So all these staples have got to be removed. Then I got to take all the old fabric off. But the staples are holding the fabric on, so we just got to go in and individually remove these staples. They sure are rusty. But the good news is we're going back with stainless steel staples, so we won't have to worry about them staples rusting or anything like that. Now, when we took this thing apart, guys, we had a lot of bad wood, I'm going to call it. But the bad wood was due to age. It really wasn't due to anything else but age. It wasn't like it was termites or anything like that. What it was just old age and getting lots of use. So some wood pieces on the arms of this sofa are going to have to be replaced so that we have something or a foundation to work with when the new legs get installed, which, by the way, they brought by some new legs to go on here. And I'll show those when the time comes to, you know, to install them. She's really old, guys, so you can't be brutal with these fasteners and staples. Otherwise, I would have my reciprocating saw with a flat blade to just chisel off all the heads of these staples and go ahead and make a, you know, make short work of a lengthy task. In other words, by using that, you cut the heads of the staples off, and it makes it to where you can just take that material and just strip it right off. But because of the age of this sofa, you don't want to give it any extra stress or anything like that. So we do it the old-fashioned way. We earn it. But all the staples have got to go because I get back in the recovering process and I just happened to catch one of these things, although I've had a tetanus shot. I really don't want to have to get an infection or anything like that from, you know, rusty staples or anything. So if you do upholstery, you better go get yourself a tetanus shot, because staples, they don't care who they gouge. All right, let's move the camera to the back side here. You guys want to know about that 57 Desoto right there in the background? That car has been here for about 3 years, just nigh on 3 years. We have been doing some interior work on it and had to stop. We ordered some floor pans for it, and I have called several people to come and try and, you know, replace the floor pans in it. But no one has stepped up to the task because they don't want to come out here. They want me to bring it to them. So I have purchased a welder, and I'm brushing up on my skills. We're going to put the floor pans in ourselves. I'm going to do it myself because I know how to do stuff like that. But she's going to be a one-off build. And we will take care of that in the month of January and February. And it's getting a headliner, getting door panels, carpet, new seat covers, new package tray. It's getting the works. But it's going to be a one-off build. Guys, I'm sorry for the volume. If the volume isn't very loud, I apologize for that. Montgomery Ward, Jackson, Mississippi. Wow. Gonna leave that in there just for nostalgia. Leave the original tag in there so people will know where this thing originated from. And because I take such level of care when I do my furniture work and stuff like that, most of any and all of my furniture work is done in the winter months, because it can get really hot out here. And I mean blazing hot. Even with full circulation blowing through here, it still gets hot. Insanely hot. And for the times that I absolutely have to be out here, see that fan right over there in the distance there. I have... Nice. Dropped my phone. But you see that fan over there in the distance? That's what I use to keep cool. Let's do this a different way. Let's do it that way. We don't have to worry about this thing falling off here again. Alright. The stream is still healthy, it looks like. So, I'll go pan back over here where I'm working at. Sorry I dropped you guys on your heads. Y'all hear that? You hear how every one of those places where my pliers stop is a staple that is sticking up. That has to be taken care of. And that's what one of them little bad boys look like close up. They look like normal staples, but they're a lot thicker and a lot bigger. They hurt. Especially when you catch one. that's been partially removed. Like those right there. And the ones you can't remove, you got to pound them back in level with the wood surface. Alright, now, this red material was the second attempt to cover this thing. They did not use stainless steel staples on these either. Even on day one when I started taking this apart, when Adrian was here and he started helping me taking this apart, we noticed that there was an enormous amount of rust on all these staples. But the really cool thing is that even though they rust, they still hold and just look ugly. That's why I use stainless steel staples, because I don't like ugly. I like things to stay as pretty as possible. Well, they got staples everywhere. And call this, whenever I encounter a lot of staples, I mean staple overkill now. We got to talk about that for a second. Staple overkill is where a disgruntled employee gets happy with the trigger and starts bouncing staples into their work like super fast forward. Next thing you know, it's got 12 dozen staples in there when you only needed 1 dozen staples. So that's where we're at on that. All right. Down to the very edge here. I'm going to lean this forward a little bit. Hopefully my camera doesn't go south. So this is the line we're working on right now. Be all these staples right here. Maybe 5 or 6 staples, but not 2 dozen like we got here. Most of the time, all that's needed is just a razor knife. Then you go back and pop that material off the heads of those staples, and if you're lucky, the staples will stay flush. But the ones that don't stay flush, well, you got to remove those. Lost my other pliers. Where'd they go? Oh, they're way down there on the other end. Alright, Pam and Lee, if you guys are watching, I'm going to do my dead level best to give the sofa at least 2 to 3 hours a day until this is finished. But you can see that there is a lot of issues going on here. So before I can actually get started with the recovering process, I've got to get all these issues taken care of. One of them is rusty springs. I want to take some spray paint and I want to take everything out of here, spray paint those springs, and retie a couple of them because a couple of them are out of place. So I'm going to retie those, especially that one right there, and get everything, you know, perfect, because I like everything to be perfect. All this old cotton and stuff like that has got to go. This old burlap, that's got to go too. But just to give you an idea how old this material is, y'all listen to this. 1 finger. Really, seriously, just 1 finger. I thought I would save that for the live stream because I think that's kind of, you know, unusual that material should have so little integrity left to it. Because all it would take is just a finger to rip the material, which is not good. Now this older material, this green material right here that's been on here, It's kind of like tweed, but it's not real. It's not real tweed. Just looks like tweed. Feels like tweed. There you say you got a duck. It looks like a duck, walks like a duck, clucks like a duck. It might be a duck. But anyway, in this particular case, it is not tweed. It is something different than tweed. So we're just going to get this end started right here. Just take it and roll it right off. That's how it's done, guys. I did this one time and I started mysteriously pulling staples out, and I got one in my palm because I was sitting there rolling like this. Didn't have no gloves on. I got what I deserved. Believe me when I tell you that. But when it comes to removing material, that's pretty much how I do it. Now this right here is a lot lighter fabric. I can't really roll this off. I might get lucky, but I don't see it happening. This is the deck. Like boats have a deck, couches have a deck. And this is where all the action takes place. The cushions rub up against this, and it has to have some kind of, you know, firm foundation for it to lay on. We're going to replace the fox edging on this. We're going to restitch a new fox edging and deck onto this. Well, what is fox edging? Well, I'll tell you. In most scenarios, when you have a cushion that is sitting on the front edge right here of a sofa right here, and that cushion is sitting right there, there is a gap right here. Alright, so the fox edging is something that is built up on the underside, because I don't know if you know this or not, but most cushions are rounded over the top. So the whole idea behind the fox edging is to eliminate that gap, so that the cushions appear to be sitting flush next to the front fascia of the couch. So they designed something to put along the top of this ridge right here. Not this, because this is the side. I'm talking about this ridge right here, the bottom side of it, down under here. They designed something called fox edging, and you basically staple it on, then you put material over it, and then you take and about this much from the back, you install a screw and then put some twine around that screw, and then put the business end of your twine going down and tying to this right here. Let me show you. Let's turn the camera around so you can see. What you're going to be doing is tying to this. Now, that was not done on this sofa. Why, I do not know. It's not that I'm looking at it backwards, but it was not done on this sofa. Let me show you what they did do. We're going to turn this upside down, or right side up, I mean. Give me just a second. Bear with me. This is the front fascia of the couch, or the sofa, okay? Now, this was the deck, the red, okay? Doesn't look red, but this was the deck, okay? Down inside here, if you lift all this up, you won't see it from that side or that angle. What you will see is the twine, okay? This twine right here is what holds this right here down. What is down? Okay. If you look at this side edge profile right here, you can see that it is raised up. It's raised up at an angle, more than it's supposed to right now at this time. But it's raised up right here. And that is what gives the cushion. Here's some cushions I can show you right here on these. You can see on regular cushions how they are curved on the top there. Okay, so a curve sitting on a flat deck like this right here is going to show up here as an enormous gap all the way along the front. So they do the fox edging right here to eliminate and or hide that enormous gap. Okay, so that's what they do. They put the fox edging on, sew this down, fold this back over, not that, this right here, they fold this over, and that becomes the front fascia, and then it gets wrapped up underneath. All right, so this was the deck, you know, red as it is in all of its splendor. So sun bleached or whatever you have, but anyway, this is what goes up underneath. That's the cotton. The fox edging is going to be up underneath this. All right, let me get this moved away so you can see what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and peel it the rest of the way. Goodness. All right. Now, the reason you can't see this is because there is cotton in the way. All right, what is fox edging? That right there is the edge. Fox edging would raise it up even more, or this cotton right here is doing somewhat of that job, but this really needs to have fox edging, is what they call it. And in most situations, you would see fox edging stapled to wood. We're not dealing with wood, so the fox edging then becomes a layer of cotton like this right here. So we're going to replace all that, and then we're going to move on and recover everything. All right, let me turn the camera back around. Put it back in my little holster there. All right, so you can see there really isn't a piece of wood up underneath here, but I do see staples, and I'm hard pressed to find any wood up underneath here. I don't know what these staples are fastening into, but they sure aren't fastening into anything that I recognize as fox edging. So all of that, of course, is just old stuff. It's going to be coming out anyway. What am I talking about? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you. All right, this is what would normally be called fox edging. Guys, if you're just tuning in, say something in the chat. Let me know that you're here, or let me know who you are. Gotta make some room here for what I'm doing. I was just talking about fox edging, and in a vintage situation, they were using something like a Murphy unit or a Marshall unit. That Marshall unit is consisting of a bunch of springs that are all tied together and bound together to create a platform that pushes down like this right here does. Okay, so the Marshall unit is what this one is pretty much based off of. It has no wood up underneath this fascia. So what they do have is hair. This is all hair, horse hair, okay? Hog hair, horse hair, same difference. But anyway, it's all wrapped around the spring unit, and you can see up underneath here. I'm going to show you. You can see up underneath here, up underneath the burlap. Well, you can't see through the burlap, but it is a metal bar that goes all the way across. And what they've done is they have sewn this down, and believe it or not, they actually stapled all this here. That is, in my book, not a good solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the updated method. You can see, I'll pull all this over. You take a curved button needle or a curved needle, and you go down, then you go across, then back up, over, down, across, up, then back over. And so it creates this stitch line, which then the material that you're using, in this particular case, it was this red that they used when they recovered this. The red goes that way, and the green goes this way. The green will cover the fascia of this, and the red would cover the deck. Now, I think I've already mentioned this before. This is an old... hey, Ian, how's it going, man? All right. So, this is a Montgomery Ward sofa. Ian says he's listening while he's working. You guys might not be able to see what everybody else says in the room, but I'll try and, let you know what they say. We've been online right now on this live stream for approximately 31 minutes so far. But this stream is probably going to start diminishing or start getting towards its end around 45 minutes. All right, so you guys give me just a minute here. I've got to go inside and get me a tool. All right, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Now, let me do this and get you guys a better view. I can't tell if this is zoomed in or not. It would not appear as if it was zoomed in. Anyway, off in the distance here, I have a chair that I'm going to have to do the Alabama roll tide in. Its material is sitting right over here. This red material right here. And I'm going to do the Alabama A in a houndstooth. Well, guys, one day when I come all the way up, I'll have me a nice concrete floor in here. I already got my updated shop lights. Got that one right there for $29.95. Got that one right there from $29.95. I can thank Matt over there at his place for turning me on to those. They actually do throw just about as much light as everybody else does. Honestly, I don't really need the lights, not in the daytime, because as you can see, I still have just as much visibility as I did without the lights or with the lights on. But anyway, that's what they look like right there. Just got done installing them about 3 days ago. So now they're back on. I've got a little bit of cleanup to do out here and some grass mowing to do, but this piece of crap lawnmower has decided to crap out on me. Anyway, well, that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I'm going to continue working on this for another half hour or so. After that, I've got a sofa for a... Well, I've got to get, some other parts for this. What I'm going to be doing is getting the parts for this right here cut, because... Oh, and these right here, these are the cushions that go for that unit. These cushions right here have Marshall units in them. All right? They're extremely heavy. They're very bulky, very cumbersome, and they're not very comfortable at all. But the units I'm talking about are buried up underneath this. Now this is all the old cotton that was in there. So I've got to make some patterns and cut out some new cotton for everything. Because when you take this stuff and you smell it, it doesn't really have a bad putrid smell to it. It's musty. So we're going to change that out. In the works, that's the floor pans for the Desoto. This right here are seats for a Volkswagen van, a Vanagon. That right there is left over from a rebuild. The mechanisms were not working in this seat, so this ended up staying here, staying on board. And I'm going to have to take that apart and recycle some of the stuff and maybe even sell the frame on eBay. Weed eater doesn't work because it's got a broken head. All this other stuff in here I've got to get cleaned up because the weather is taking its toll on my stuff. And I don't want it to take its toll. This is just a small little garage that I have. And I want to get it... and this is just outside my back door. That's the shop right there. So you guys already know that's the sewing studio out there in that building right there. That trailer. Because that is our shop / home. And the paint booth. The paint booth is actually almost 15 minutes away from here. So, you know, that's where we do all of our painting and all that kind of stuff. Body work and stuff like that are all done over there. Because I cannot stand the fallout from sanding and all that kind of stuff and overspray from paint getting in any of my other work. So I don't have a big shop. I don't have partitions, but if I can have it my way, I'm probably going to take and build onto this one right here, build onto that right there, and extend it out this way. And I've got to raise this side up, that side up. I've got to raise it up about maybe 6 or 8 inches and kick it out to right about there. Because right now it's sitting cattywampus. But there's nothing wrong with this side. I store all my ladders. I got a couple of tires back there off some old vehicles. The Jaws, that thing, it hates me. So anyway, just as soon as we are able to, around the first of the year, you're going to see some upgrades around here. This is one of them. We're going to be installing a 120 service 50 amp for a pull behind fifth wheel. That'll be the conduit coming up from that going into there. And this is my switch for the lights. That switch right there. And then I've got another switch in there. But this is right here is where the fifth wheel camper travel trailer is going to be. That's going to be Alden's. We've got to tie into the septic tank, which is right there. That's the yard that needs to be mowed. We've got to take, there's a truck. We've got to take this whole deck right here, that whole deck, and we've got to move it or extend it from here all the way out to the end and then come back in. Then we're going to close that whole area off. And I will probably, in all likelihood, make that the new sewing studio so I can have my living room back. Yeah. But anyway, there's the ramp you guys have probably seen in other videos. Truck. But anyway. As soon as I can, guys, I'm going to get that sofa dialed in. Everything that has to be done to it. Going back up the ramp here because I've got some things in here to show you. Pam and Ralph, just so you understand, I want you guys to know, that every part of me wants to make good on that sofa. and it will be done. But we have to do small jobs to keep the shop doors open. And it's pretty much like that for every small business owner. I don't know any one business owner that doesn't do things that way. They have to do small jobs just so they can keep the doors open. And do 3 or 4 hours on this job, 3 or 4 hours on that job. And before you know it, you're pushing 16-hour days, balancing and juggling 4 jobs at the same time. But we will get it done, guys. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, please do so. Click on the bell so you get notified of the next live stream that we do. Thanks for watching, guys.